Hello, welcome back to another biometrics integration demo. Today I am going to show you a C# biometric integration that I carried out in Red Hat Enterprise Linux using the HID DigitalPersona type 4500 fingerprint scanner. So right here is the login screen for my Red Hat Enterprise Linux box. Let us log in. This is my user. I am going to type my password here. Then I click unlock. I have successfully logged in. The first thing that I would like to show you before we start is the name of the OS, that is the operating system that I am using, and the version number. I will also show you the version of the .NET SDK that I installed in this Linux box. To do that, I'm going to come here, then I click on the terminal. This is the terminal, the bash shell in other words. Let me maximize it. Yeah, I've maximized it. Now, the first command that I am going to run is a command for displaying the name of the OS and the version number. So let me type the command right away. Here is the command for displaying the OS name, that is the operating system name, and the version number. Let me press enter. So as you can see, we have received this output from this command. The first one is the name. It gives us the name as Red Hat Enterprise Linux. The version is 8.4. This is the name of that particular version. There is also the platform ID, this one here. There is also the operating name, this one here, and these are the particulars here about the operating system that I am running on this computer. So now that we have established that we are running Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8.4, let us now proceed and clear the terminal. So I will clear the terminal by typing clear. I have cleared the terminal. Now let us run a command that will show us the .NET version that is installed in this Red Hat Linux box. So I'm going to type .NET -- version. So this is the command, that is .NET space -- version. Then I press enter, see what happens. This is the output, that is 9.0.106. So we could just say In short, that we are running .NET version 9 on this Red Hat Linux computer. Let me clear the terminal screen. I have cleared the terminal screen. In this video demo, I am going to showcase 3 possible scenarios that could present themselves when you are running the C# biometric fingerprint capture application. At the very end, I will take you through the C# code that I wrote to implement fingerprint capture using the HID DigitalPersona Type 4500 fingerprint scanner in Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Let us start with the first scenario. In the first scenario, I will run the application without connecting the fingerprint scanner to the computer. In the second scenario, I will connect the fingerprint scanner to the computer, but when I run the C# biometric application, at the point at which the application requires me to present a finger for fingerprint scanning, I will not do so. In the third scenario, I will connect my fingerprint scanner to the computer, and when I run the C# biometric application, and then at the point at which I am prompted to present a finger for scanning, I will place my left index finger on the HID DigitalPersona Type 4500 fingerprint scanner for finger capture and template extraction. Now that I've been able to explain to you the 3 scenarios that I am going to showcase here, let me take you to the application. To do that, I am going to change directory to the folder where the C# biometric application is. Right now, we are in this path. So this is the current path. That is the current path. To go to the C# biometric application folder, I will type cd, then I will type cd space finger capture dp4500 app, and then press enter. We are inside the folder where the C# biometric application is. Let me type pwd present working directory. This is the path where the application is. I think it is good at this juncture I also show you the contents of these folders. To do that, I am going to type ls space dash al, that is list all. There we go. These are the contents of that folder. This is the program.cs file where I wrote the code for this application. By the way, I could open briefly this file here so that you see what is in the file. Then later on during the last bit where I'm taking you through the code, I will be able to explain to you the code in detail. To open the program.cs file, I will use the gedit application. To open it, I'll do gedit and then yeah, like that. I will type gedit space program.cs to open the program.cs file where the code is. I'll press enter at this moment. Observe what happens. So that is the code part of it. I'll be able to take you through the code in entirety at the very end. For now, let me just close this file. So I've closed the file. To start us off with, we are going to begin with scenario 1, where I run the application without the fingerprint scanner being connected to the computer. So to confirm that the fingerprint scanner is not connected to the computer, I will run the ls USB command so that it displays the USB devices that are connected to this Red Hat Enterprise Linux box. So to do that, let me first clear the terminal screen. And then I type ls USB command. Then I press enter. You can see that we don't have any fingerprint scanner here. Let us run the application for scenario 1. Remember, in scenario 1 is where we don't have the fingerprint scanner connected to the computer. To run the application, I'll first need to clean the application, build the application, and then I run it. To clean the application, I will type .NET space clean. .NET clean, and then I press enter. Observe what happens. So we have been able to successfully clean the application. Now let us run .NET build. I am going to press enter to run .NET build. The application is building. You can see at this bit here, build succeeded with 2 warnings. Not a problem, we'll be able to proceed like that. For now, to run the application, we will need to type .NET run. Let me type .NET run. Before I type .NET run, I think it is better we clear the screen first. So I'm going to type clear. I have cleared the screen. Let me now type .NET run. So I'm running .NET run to run the application. Observe what happens. Application has run all the way to completion and returned as back to the command prompt. This is what happened. At the very beginning, we have this line here, HID DigitalPersona 4500 C# finger capture console application. That is the name of the application. And then it says it only ran step 1. That is where it was attempting to get count of connected HID DigitalPersona 4500 scanners. But then, since there was no fingerprint scanner connected to the computer, that's why we received this message. No HID DigitalPersona scanners were found. That's what happened in scenario 1. Now we need to run the application again for scenario 2. But remember, in scenario 2, we are going to have the fingerprint scanner connected to the computer. Only that when prompted to place a finger on the scanner, we will not do so that we see how the application behaves if we do not present a finger for scanning. So to do that, we first need to clear the terminal screen by typing clear. I have cleared the terminal. What I need to do now is to connect the fingerprint scanner to the computer. Let me do that right now. Need to create some space here. I'm now plugging in the fingerprint scanner to the USB port of my computer. I have been able to plug in my HID DigitalPersona 4500 fingerprint scanner to the computer. To confirm that it is actually connected to the USB, let us run the ls USB command again, so that we can see whether the DigitalPersona 4500 fingerprint scanner is listed as one of the USB devices that are connected to this computer. There is our ls USB command. Now I'm going to press enter. Good. So this is the output of that command, and you can see that right here, we have the DigitalPersona fingerprint scanner listed here as one of the devices that are connected to this computer. Initially, when we were running scenario 1, the DigitalPersona fingerprint scanner was not listed, but now it is listed because we have connected it to the computer. What I need to do right now is to run the application. So to do that, okay, let me first clear the screen. To run the application, we are going to use this command here, .net run. Remember, we are not going to present a finger for scanning when prompted to do so. Let me run the application. I'm going to press enter to run the application. We are now in step 3. Right here, I hope you can see here, where the application is waiting for me to present the finger on the scanner, but I am not going to do so. So let's observe what happens. I had given it a time interval of 20 seconds, so that if a finger is not presented on the scanner, it just runs all the way to completion without capturing it. So basically, the application has actually run all the way to completion, and at the very end, it gave us these two messages here, that is fingerprint image capture process completed, and then it gave us this other message here, fingerprint image not present. The application was not able to capture fingerprint image because I did not present a finger on the scanner when prompted to do so at step 3. So now I've been able to take you through scenario 1 and scenario 2. Now I am going to show you what happens in scenario 3 when we have the fingerprint scanner connected to the computer, and when I present my finger on the scanner, a fingerprint image will be captured and a fingerprint template will be extracted. So you will be able to see a fingerprint image displayed, and as well as a fingerprint template being displayed. That is if a fingerprint capture process is successful. Before I show you what happens in scenario 3, let us first clear the terminal screen. I typed clear, now I press enter. Let us now run the application with .net run command. Observe what happens. When prompted to present a finger on the scanner, I will present my left index finger on the HID DigitalPersona 4500 fingerprint scanner. So let us do this right now. I'm going to press enter so that this .NET run command executes. Pay attention to what happens. The application is now in step 3 where it is requiring me to present my finger on the scanner. So I'm going to present my left index on the scanner. Observe what happens. There it goes. As you can see, a fingerprint image was displayed. Here it is. This is my left index fingerprint image that was captured when I presented my left index on the HID DigitalPersona 4500 fingerprint scanner when I was prompted to do so in step 3. Also, let me move this bit here to the right. There is this bit here in step 5 that is for the extracted fingerprint template. You can see this message here, fingerprint template extracted successfully, this bit here, and you can see this is the hash code of the captured fingerprint image, which we are calling the fingerprint template. So let me get back our fingerprint image. By the way, when I am walking you through the C# biometric code, I will be able to show you how the captured fingerprint image is displayed from the code. I will also show you how the template is extracted from the captured fingerprint image. Now that I've been able to take you through scenario 1, scenario 2, and scenario 3, I think this is the best time for me now to walk you through the code so that I can be able to show you what happened in all the steps that you are able to see, that is from step 1 to step 7. So to do that, let me first by the way, should we close this image, this fingerprint image? Yeah, let me just close it so that it doesn't clutter our workspace area. For this bit, I think I will just leave it as that. What I need to do right now is to open a new tab. Is that how one opens a new tab? Yeah, I have opened a new tab so that we separate this bit here and this other tab here. To show you the code, I need to open the program.cs file. Do you remember the program.cs file? Let me run the list command so that I show you the contents of the C# biometric application, and then inside that folder I will show you the program.cs, and then we will open the program.cs so that we can review the code and I also walk you through the code. So to do that, I'm going to run the list command. So I've been able to run the list command. Remember, initially when we ran the list command, we did not have the image. You see this image here, the image file. So the image file has come about from us being able to capture the fingerprint from the fingerprint scanner. That is when we were running the application in scenario 3. Actually, if you check out the timestamp, that is at 15:33. That is when the image was captured. By the way, what is the time right now? Let me type time now. Is that the command you used to get time by there? Time now. Is that the command? No, that is not the command. How about date now? Or is it just date? Yeah, you can see the date is 9th June on Monday, and the time is 15:38. The time is East African time. And when was the image captured? That is at 15:33, and the time right now is 15:38. Okay, by the way, if you want to open the image, you can just do this. Just select the image here, just do copy, then we use the eye of genome, that is the E or G, and then we paste the image name there, so that we open it using the eye of genome. That's in our case, in the command prompt, we are just going to type EOG space the image file name with the extension of the type of image. So let me press enter here so that it opens the image. Yeah, it has opened our fingerprint image. You can see the fingerprint image name is also displayed at the very top. So if we want to open our fingerprint image again, we will be able to go back and run the E or G command with the fingerprint image name. So let me just close this because we don't need it for now. What we need to do right now is for me now to show you the code in the program.cs file, this one here. So to do that, I am going to use gedit. Gedit, and then program.cs. So there goes the code. It is a very short piece of code. It is actually less than 200 lines of code. So this is what is happening when we run the application. This first line here is what we see, and then from there, let me just show you that bit. Let me come here so that I show you that bit. Yeah, this one here, this is that bit. Now let me take you to step 1 so that I show you what happens in step 1. In step 1 is where we attempt to get the count of connected digital persona fingerprint scanners. So for the application to be able to proceed, you need to have at least one fingerprint scanner, and for this application I am only using one fingerprint scanner. So if you connect more than one fingerprint scanner, the application will use only one of them at a time. But if you need a scenario where you want to use several fingerprint scanners, please reach out to me on the contacts in the pinned comment or in the description of this video, so that you and I can arrange on how to implement such a solution. So in step 1, we are getting the count of the connected fingerprint scanners, and this is the line that was output. That is the number of the fingerprint scanners that were found. Otherwise, if there is no fingerprint scanner that was found, this is the message that will actually be returned. That is no HID digital persona. This one here, no HID digital persona scanners were found. This is the message that was returned in scenario 1. If you remember, that is when we ran the application without a fingerprint scanner being connected to the computer. But in our case, we were told one HID DigitalPersona fingerprint scanner was found. Let me take you to the terminal so that you see that bit. This is the message: one HID DigitalPersona scanners found. So that's all there is to step 1. Now let me take you to the code so that I show you what happens in step 2. In step 2, we open the connected DigitalPersona fingerprint scanner. So this is the code that actually does that, and if the device is successfully opened, this is the message that will be returned, that is HID DigitalPersona 4500 scanner successfully opened. Otherwise, the user sees an error for why the device could not be opened. Let me put some context into this. Before you can be able to use a fingerprint scanner in your computer, you first need to open it so that you can be able to issue more commands on it. So that's why in step 2 we endeavor to open the connected fingerprint scanner. Let me take you to the terminal so that I show you the message that we received for step 2 when we attempted to open the fingerprint scanner. So in step 2 here, when we are opening the fingerprint scanner, this is the message we got: HID DigitalPersona 4500 scanner successfully opened. That's all there is to step 2. Now let me take you to step 3 in the code. In step 3 is where we capture the fingerprint image. For us to be able to capture the fingerprint image successfully, we need to present a finger on the fingerprint scanner when prompted to do so in step 3. If you remember, in scenario 2, where we were running the application with the fingerprint scanner connected, but then we were not presenting the finger for fingerprint capture, this is the message that we got: fingerprint image not captured. But in scenario 3, when we presented the left index finger for fingerprint capture, this is the message that was returned, that is fingerprint image capture process completed, and then we were showed the count of the fingerprint images that are present. So this was the message that was output, that is fingerprint image present. Fingerprint count was 1. Let me take you to the terminal so that you see what happened in step 3 during capture fingerprint image. So in our step 3 here, for capture fingerprint image, you see that we got this message here: fingerprint image capture process completed, and then fingerprint image present, and fingerprint count is 1. So that's all there is to step 3 for capture fingerprint. Let me take you to step 4 from the code. In step 4 is where we save and display the captured fingerprint image. The application is only able to run step 4 if it was able to successfully capture a fingerprint image. The only scenario that was able to go past step 4 was scenario 3. This is the code that I implemented for that. And once fingerprint image is successfully saved, this is the message that is actually returned. And once the fingerprint image is captured, we also need to display it. So to display the fingerprint image, I implemented this code here. Actually, to be able to successfully handle the image, that is even convert it to an image format. By the way, when a fingerprint image is captured by your device, that is your fingerprint scanner, the fingerprint scanner retrieves the raw bytes of your fingerprint image, but then you need to convert these raw bytes maybe into a into an image format that is more commonly used by people or even other applications, because in raw bytes, the raw bytes, you won't be able to do with the raw bytes. Your application, you might not have many applications that can actually handle raw bytes in your computer. So if the image is first converted into an image format like a PNG or even maybe BMP or even JPEG, several applications will be able to handle that image. So in our case here, I implemented this code here so that I can be able to display the image. So for the raw bytes, to convert them into a PNG format, I use the image sharp library. Let me take you all the way to the top. So I first needed to install the image sharp library so that it can be able to handle the raw bytes and assist me in converting the raw bytes from the fingerprint image into PNG format. So this is the particular bit of that code that helped me to do that, this one here. So to do that, I needed to pass the raw bytes, the image width and the image height, and for all those I was retrieving them from here, and then this is how I was able to save as PNG the raw bytes of the captured fingerprint image. If you want it as a BMP, you will do save as BMP instead of save as PNG. If you want it as a JPEG, you will do save as JPEG. So I've been able to show you how I was able to save the fingerprint image as PNG and how to implement the display of the fingerprint image. So to do that, we need the fingerprint image here. To do that, we need to call the process.info that is able to open a .png file. So what this tells the computer is to use the default application for opening an image file of type PNG. That's all there is to step 4. Let me take you to the terminal so that you see the outputs that the application returned for step 4. Yeah, the terminal. So in step 4 here, that is where we save and display the captured fingerprint image. So this is the messages that we got: fingerprint image saved successfully, and then displaying fingerprint image shortly. Immediately after this message is when you saw the fingerprint image that was displayed. I am taking you back to the code. I show you step 5. In step 5 is where the application extracts a fingerprint template from the captured fingerprint image. This is the code that does that, and if successful, we get the template data as bytes. But then for us to be able to successfully display it on the screen, you could even display it as bytes, but I decided to base 64 encode it before displaying it. So to display it, I'm doing console.writeLine, and then I pass the base 64 encoded string with the encoded base 64 bytes of the fingerprint template. Otherwise, if there was a problem, we will return an error, but in our case there was no problem. Let me take you to the terminal so that you see the fingerprint template looks like after it has been output by this line here. terminals for step 5. Yeah, in our step 5 here, that is where we extract and display the fingerprint template from the captured fingerprint image. This is the base64 encoded fingerprint template. This one, you could actually call it the hash code of the captured fingerprint image. So that's it with step 5. Let me take you back to the code so that we check out step 6. In step 6 is where we release the DigitalPersona fingerprint scanner. What am I saying? For you to be able to gracefully end your application, you need to release the fingerprint scanner device. So step 6 is actually doing that. To do that, we call this function here, that is the dispose function. The dispose function releases the fingerprint scanner. Let me take you to the code so that you see how that you see this message here. So if it is successful, you will receive this message here, that is HID DigitalPersona 4500 reader released successfully. Let me take you to the terminal so that you see that. So here is our step 6 here. So release, where we release the DigitalPersona fingerprint scanner, and then we get this message, HID DigitalPersona 4500 reader released successfully. So that's all for step 6. Now the final step, that is step 7. Let me take you to the code so that you see what happens in step 7. Step 7 is where we release the allocated resources. That is the DigitalPersona resources that are allocated for us to be able to interact with the DigitalPersona device. So to do that, we call this function here, that is the dispose function from the FP readers object. So once that is successful, we display this message here, that is HID DigitalPersona readers collection successfully released. Let me take you to the terminal to show you that bit. Here it is, step 7. So we release the DigitalPersona resources that were allocated during the running of this application, and then this is the message that is output, that is HID DigitalPersona readers collection object successfully freed up. So basically that's it. That's all I wanted to show you. Let me know if you are working on a C# project with the DigitalPersona fingerprint scanner, or with any other fingerprint scanner in Linux. I'll be glad to assist you with such a project. I offer professional consulting. You can check out my website for the services that I offer and the prices that I charge for such from the pinned comment of this video or in the description of this video. What excited you about this integration? I have also been able to do a similar application but with an HID DigitalPersona 5300 on Windows. I will link the video for the C# Biometric application demo where I used the HID DigitalPersona 5300 in Windows on the pinned comment of this video, as well as in the description of this video. For today, all I wanted to show you is this C# Biometric integration that I carried out on Red Hat Enterprise Linux using the DigitalPersona 4500 fingerprint scanner. Thank you for staying all the way to the end. See you in the next one.